back to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, far away.
Okay, taking you back to senior year of high school, and now you just finally graduated. Now you have 2 months to do whatever you want before college starts. Sadly, those 2 months go by, and now you have homework and assignments that are due certain dates, and on top of that, you work 40 hours a week at a job that you just started, and you do clubs or you play a sport for the school you attend to. As weeks begin to go by, you start developing overwhelming thoughts and a tight feeling in your chest, and it gets to the point that you can't even go to sleep at night without worrying about the next day. And that is what you call stress. And someone who has dealt with stress through high school and had panic attacks, it is not easy. And to me, it was hard to figure out what the causes were and on what effects they can do to your body. And so anxiety and panic attacks is one of them. But as I started seeing a therapist, she began to go over ways on managing stress. And that is what I'm going to talk about with y'all today, is on how to manage stress. But the first thing we'll talk about is what causes it. So the first thing is our body has a response known as the fight or flight response. Example that could be, let's say a group of bees are swarming you. You either grab a newspaper and you're swatting them, you see them dropping on the ground, or you run for them. Me, I'm gonna run for them because I don't want to get stung in the face like I did last time. But we're gonna talk about that later, or never. And there's some other topics such as unhealthy lifestyle. You're not getting the needed sources of protein or vitamins for your body. You're not getting the needed workout each day, and you're not getting enough sleep. The next thing is changes in your life. So you could be starting a new job, a new school, or a new parent, and your body's just not used to that. And traumatic injuries could be things such as wrecks, abuse, or a death of a loved one. An example that could be that I lost my grandpa in 8th grade, and it took me a while to accept that, and that caused a lot of stress and anxiety build up in me. But if these stresses, or what causes us to have stress, is not dealt with, it can lead to damaging effects, which is the next thing we'll be talking about. But before we do that, there was a study that I found from the University of Chicago on depression and anxiety, and it was studied on a group of undergraduate students majoring in math. These students are being tested on a hormone production that is released from our adrenal gland, known as cortisol. And this is what fights off the stress in your body. And how they were tested on is if the students were responding to more stress and their cortisol level was shorter than that level of stress, then that means they were going to be developing more effects later on. And cortisol can only handle so much stress that your body is exposed to. And those who would deal with stress later on would have these effects, such as straining the mind and body to the point of feeling tired all the time and to the point of losing sleep and focus. And it can lead to you feeling emotional and developing overwhelming thoughts, and that is similar to what I had. You can also develop future health issues such as high blood pressure, which is linked to heart attacks, and that is being studied right now, and depression and anxiety. And so with me, when I started seeing a therapist, it took me a while to accept that I had anxiety because I didn't want to just say that I did. I was too ashamed for that. But as we went over it, we just figured out what was causing me to have stress and the effects, and then we learned on how to manage. And there are a few things I want to go over with y'all about that. So the first thing that I learned is you have to find and eliminate the cause. It's like a puzzle piece in your head that you're trying to put together, and you just have to lay it out on the table. And talking to someone, which is the next thing, is known to be effective. And to me, it was just hard to talk to someone about that. But the other thing that I started doing was writing your thoughts down. But it just depends on what kind of person you are. Another thing too is balanced diet. I hated working out, but now I just go to the point that I love it. And so the best way to start out is going at least 3 days a week in about 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on how much your body can take. And getting the needed sources, then cutting back from sugar and caffeine. Sorry, coffee lovers. And also getting at least 8 hours of sleep at night, and that's enough energy that your body needs to regain the energy for a new day. Breathing exercises are known to be effective, but it just depends on how long it takes. I started using this app called the Calm app, but it took me a while to get used to it. I just didn't like laying there in bed and it tells you to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Again, it took me a while, but eventually I got used to it. Another thing too is doing something you love, such as hobbies, and those are the best ways to release stress. I started getting into writing in my journals every day, night and morning, and sometimes going outside and walking in the woods, because we have woods in my backyard. And it's just my way to get away from the things that are causing me to have stress and to escape from everything else. But again, managing stress is not going to be easy right away. It takes time, and that is the last thing I want to tell you about is adjustment takes time. You have to give your body that time to do that. And so like I said before, there are different causes to stress, and without understanding those causes, you will develop damaging effects to your body, and you have to give it time to manage. And my therapist told me this quote, and like Benny Cassett said, don't let the stress and happenings get in the way of your happiness. You have to enjoy it one day at a time and give that day some time to deal with. So like I said, don't stress it. Thank you.